Yo, so we're going to be attempting today just a warm calisthenic handstand exercises with wall support. So we're still kind of struggling when it comes to the front lever or 90-degree to the handstand. We're still kind of struggling. We're struggling with the transition. So because that's the case, we got to do more practices on the wall, against that wall right there, as well as using. We gotta use more of this. So just to have a little bit more elevation off the ground, which makes it more, engaging muscles I don't regularly engage. So that's the plan. Do like a good 3 sets of that. 3 sets, with this. Then I might just do some finishers, which is gonna involve no bar. No, I'm not gonna use that bar. I'm just gonna use palm, and then just spam as much as possible, and then just hold it. When I can't push anymore, just hold it to failure. So that's a plan for this short exercise. I'm at the basement of my house, so where else is there to do it than the basement of your house, right? But yeah, I'm logged in, I'm loaded. We got the mic right here. It's a little bit heavy, so it's gonna drop a little, but that's fine. As long as you can hear me, that's all that matters. But let's get to the first set. I kind of already stretched a little bit. You can see it looks like I have a little pump, but I always look like I have a little pump. Okay, let's get to this. Gotta take off the shoes. I know you can't see it. Yeah, 1 second. Alright, ready? Alright, let's go. Okay, that's good. Ooh. Imagine if I injure myself. Okay, let's go. Ooh. Oh my god. The last one, that's always a killer. There we go. Whew. Some water. So I just clipped the mic on my hair. It might still be heavy for my hair though. That's cool. Oh, shoot. Whew. That's the one thing I've noticed about calisthenics. Some of the exercise looks so easy when you're looking at it. But when you're attempting it, especially the first time, your whole muscle or your whole body feels it. Like if you saw for the last set or the last rep that I did for that set, my back wasn't able to straighten out because I started using a whole bunch of different muscle group because I didn't have enough strength on my shoulder to push myself up. So it's like I'm compensating with other muscle part that you could say I'm not supposed to be using. But I'm trying to just push as hard as possible just to get to the top, right? So that's one thing I've noticed. But the goal is to do it as much as possible because the more you do it, the more developed those muscle group in those areas become, where they're able to push and still maintain stability as well as form. The goal is maintaining form when it comes to calisthenics. That's the only way you can be a good calisthenic athlete. That's the only way. Whew. Can we rest for like 2-3 minutes? Yeah, usually for calisthenics, it's best to rest for a longer period of time, just so you don't sacrifice form when it comes to doing your sets. Once you start sacrificing form, then it's not really beneficial to your growth as a calisthenic athlete, because then you develop a bad form in doing some of these exercises, which can affect you having to fix it later on, which can even be more of a struggle. Plus, even learning the trick or the skill might also be harder because you're doing it with wrong form. So form and technique is everything. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be better than trash. You can't be trash, right? So some good water. There we go. This thing knocks the wind out of you too. That's one thing I've noticed. And I'm not sure if you guys can see my face clearly as I'm pushing, but I feel like my whole head vein is just popping, as well as it's like the blood just flowing to my head, because I'm not relaxed. I'm not laxed, right? So the blood just flows to my head a lot quicker than if I was doing something that's a lot easier to me. Like regular handstand with just my palm, I can spam it out, get more reps in. Of course, like it gets to a point where like I get fatigued, but for the most part, I can spam it out for way longer than I can spam it out for this exercise. So it's definitely something that I need to improve in, and once I improve, different story. 100% different story. Let's get one more. I try to get that one as controlled as possible, but oh shoot. Yeah, the goal is being way more controlled with every single one of my pushes or my handstands, whether it comes to the progression aspect or the just regular aspect without progression, without support, without anything, just, you know. But the goal is to definitely like have way more control than just explosive, rushing, non-stability, focused reps. Like if I can perfect that, then I can obviously like train for both, right? Like do the explosive stuff, but at the same time, do the slowed, stable, controlled reps. Because then that's how you fully like engage certain muscle group, really engage it too. Really engage it, get a good feel for it. And as well as you look way more like smoother, way more intentional when you're doing every single one of your reps, right? So when you just rush through it, feels like you kind of like rushing through it faster just so you don't fail or you don't fall. So I need to perfect that. I'm not the worst at it, but it's hard to go through that process of training. But hey, what's hard is something that should be embraced, because there's no fun in the easy stuff. And as well, if something is easy, it won't be cherished, right? So that just means the hard stuff is actually something that is more enjoyed once you can actually like get it. Once you can get the hard stuff, you actually enjoy it a lot more than the easy stuff. So if it would have came easy for me, like being able to do the controlled, slowed, version of handstand easily, I wouldn't really appreciate the fact that I know how to do it. It's just gonna be one of those, things that I know how to do. Versus if if it's a hard process for me and I'm training very intensely to get and achieve that skill set, then in like a month or let's even say a year to go that wide of a range, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, I remember the training progress or the training process that it took me to get to this level, and I'm gonna be a little bit more appreciative of the steps that it took me to get there. But regardless, like at the end of the day, it's just to perfect my skill. So whether I get it easily or not, it's all gonna be a journey. It's all gonna be one of those things that I look back at like, this was me at this level, and now this is me at this new level, and I feel like that's a big like observation to even have in the first place. So to me, I'm gonna be appreciative of any and everything, to be honest. But yeah, it's just something I've noticed in general. That's, you could take it as a general like thought process, right? But yeah, I hope everyone's Sunday is going well. You know, Sundays is a day to rest. You know, you set up your schedule for the next week over. Whatever new goals you want to give yourself for that week, Sundays is a perfect time to do so. You know, you can even spend time with your family, siblings, all that good stuff. Or even go out for a walk. Like, a lot of people don't go out for walks as much as you would think. And apparently it's very good for you, like going out for walks, you know, being one with nature, seeing the trees. Have you seen that meme of Uzi saying, I went outside the other day and I saw a tree?
I looked at a tree the other day, like really looked at a tree.
At a tree?
Yeah.
What did the tree do?
Nothing, it was a tree.
And I think the guy was like, wait, a tree? What do you mean a tree? Like, what happened? Was the tree doing something? Like, well, a tree's going to do what a tree does, right? But I think it was that surprise that the reporter had for Uzi just saying, oh, he went out to go see it. He went out and he saw a tree. And sometimes just going outside for a walk, seeing nature, that's all you need. That's enough. And even that is very good because you're centering yourself to the earth and, you know, being one with nature. You know what I'm saying? That's how it used to be, so it couldn't have been that bad, right? Okay, let's get to the last set. Whew. Gotta loosen up the rust, the creaks. Has to be a smooth movement. Let's go. All right. Oh no. Alright, that doesn't matter. This is it now. One more. I could have gone lower. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to go back up if I went lower. Whew. That one was a lot. I can't lie. Drink some water. See, my hands are starting to feel sore. My shoulders especially. So I do a lot of shoulder swings when that starts to happen. Just so I loosen it up. Like, just something I do with my arms. So I try to keep it moving. Helps to loosen up everything, right? As long as it's in motion. Okay, let's get straight to this one. This is the one that we're gonna like try to like do what as little rest as possible, right? No excuses. Just straight to it. Love that pain. That's the type of pain that whenever I feel, I know I'm putting my body through work and I was gonna get a result one day. Yo, let's just take a breath or two or three. Let's go. I haven't really done any handstand holds. I wish I did, but I think I just want to like loosen up the creaks in my shoulder just to get a little bit more like strong when it comes to the pushing. Rather than holding the isolation aspect, I wanted to be able to push, the strength to push, either from deep handstand position or, you know, slightly mid handstand position, like, you know, so they have the 90-degree mark or the decline mark. So it's like once I can be able to utilize strength from either or, because it's easier to have strength in this position right here, because it's not much that you have to really like, you know, push against, right? Versus when you're here, you kind of like having to engage a different part of your shoulder muscle just to push further out. Or when you're like so deep in, it's like you almost feel like weak, because now it's like you're so deep in the motion that you have to like first engage that muscle, like be in control of the muscle, get the feel for the muscle, and then start engaging it to push away. And then the distance that you have to push is also so long that you might get to this point and that's when your whole like strength is just depleted. So it's definitely something that, like, if I work on more and more, it will become more easier and effortless for me to do. So definitely one of the goals and progression that I've been implementing, which is what I'm doing today, right? Okay, let's get the second set. Oh my God. You see the veins? Doesn't take much to get it out. You see that? You probably can't see it as much as I see it, but it's there. This one I'm gonna try to spam it out. So just explosive, 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 explosive. So I can't explode anymore. Just explosive, explosive. Hey yo. Last set is gonna be just going for as much as possible to failure. The last one was still failure, but I didn't find out because I felt like I could have done one more where I might not get back up, but I didn't want to not get it back. I didn't want to fall at the bottom. I wanted to actually make it to the top, so I was like, let me not go for it. But this one is gonna be till failure. My shoulder's already feeling tired. Let's go. Oh my God. should have powered through that last one. Whew. Yeah, that was definitely insane. I think I did 9 or 10 rep. I can't remember. But either or, that was an explosive set. Definitely feel the soreness on my left shoulder as well as on my right shoulder. So definitely was a good workout. But this is just something you guys can implement too when it comes to improving your handstand push-ups, or even your dip handstand push-ups. So that's it for this video. It was definitely more of a chill Sunday vibe. Not really like a bunch of different exercises, rather just 2 different exercises, 3 sets, 2 to 3 minute interval rest period, and good vibe and good energy, you know. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave a like. You can comment any new ideas that you want to see, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this type of content. But this is just raw calisthenic process that I go through in order to train myself, to learn certain skills. As you can see, if you go through my page, my progression from like a couple years ago to now has been completely insane. I still could have progressed a lot quicker and a lot more, surprisingly and just, crazily, but, I'm a very busy guy, so I try to find a good pace when it comes to this stuff and just make sure to maintain a very realistic goal for myself. So that's what I've been following, a realistic goal. And as long as I implement those goals, it doesn't matter if I'm not going as rapid as other people do, the result is still going to come. So that's just a lesson for you guys that are watching this video. Whether you go insane or you have like a more spread out training, routine, that's still gonna get you results, right? It just depends on how quick you want the results, how more intense you want to push yourself, or how much more like you want to progress, like how quick you want to progress and just be be out of your comfort zone. So if you're chasing that uncomfortability, go insane, go right ahead and do some insane stuff. But yeah, for me, this is my pace. I could change it at any time too. That's the thing. So I'm not saying this is gonna be the pace forever, right? Or it's just a pace for this moment right now. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.